Lately, I've been feeling really uninspired. I crave stark, underwhelming reality that is simple and, ironically, unembellished. So when it came to deciding on a subject for this week's video, I didn't have a lot of artful references in mind, but I wondered, could I focus on something ordinary and turn it into something special? Could the banal become fabulous? Today's muse therefore comes from the most likely and yet unlikely of places. I'm going to be creating a top inspired by blueberries. First, let's attempt to make some firm and round little balls out of this dangerously friable, gorgeous indigo blue velvet fabric. So I actually did this based on a video I found on how to make medieval cloth buttons. The premise is that you create some squares, sew around in a circular shape, then pull at the ends on the thread at either side while tucking it in to form a firm little ball. I found it easier to pull and shape the balls when I put it on a finger. They resemble little berets, so that was quite adorable. Then I went around like a clock a few times to ensure that all the sides were not jutting out. I added black sequins to the bottom of each blueberry and then a metal ring on the other side so that we can later attach these bloobs easily onto whatever we choose to make out of it. And to make the surface of the blueberries more diverse, I created a few out of some blue ceramic beads that I had. And our blueberries are now done. Step 2, set the table. Also just make a top. For the top, I'm going to repurpose one of the first jackets I ever made. It was a massive fail, but I'm adamant to resurrect some of this gorgeous fabric. We now have a somewhat blank canvas to work with. I didn't have enough fabric to cut out our doodle directly, so I'm just doing a few more extra steps, basically dividing the doodle up into parts, which I will then patch up together. Doodle top, which is an ancient Chinese women's bra. It's kind of similar to a halter top in shape. Pin along the center and sew them together. Press and add in darts on either side to ensure that the halter part curves around our shoulder chest area. Now we can begin to position each blueberry into its rightful place. I ended up adding a canvas layer behind to create more structure. For more security, I added a knot behind each ball to mitigate the dreaded domino effect, i.e. one blueberry falling and the rest following. For the lining, I'm using a maroon fabric similar in hue to our front. Let's sew on darts on either side of this lining as well. Press. Then attach it right sides facing along our front piece. Sew all along the bottom curve. Trim off excess and cut notches all around so that our curve curves smoothly. And press. Now that even our straight kittens outside have come for a visit, we are ready to pin all around the sides and stitch them down. So I made some bias binding out of the same fabric as the lining, and we're just going to attach the binding to the front side first, pinning it down along the fold. Then stitch these down, and voila! Binding that doubles up as a back tie. Now onto my favorite part, working in some opulent chaos. I have all this beaded trim left over from various projects, and they're all very awkward lengths. So none of them are actually long enough to be a full collar or a full necktie. So I patched them together to form one long and very mismatched trim. Now I'm going to attach this collaged trim against another length of lining, flip, press, and fold in the open edges so it becomes kind of like a binding, which we can then attach to the neck curve at the front. Then gently and carefully we're going to fold and navigate the back down flat as well, and press everything so that it's even and neat, and sew everything down. We are almost there, but surely you must know by now that a project is not complete until we add even more embroidery. I'm adding on some mini black blueberries along the neck curve, and since the top necktie trim was really light and kind of flapped about somewhat unelegantly, I added these large jade stones on either end. And whoa, our blueberry top is finally done. Honestly, this top started off as a really abstract idea, as like wanting to pay tribute to the very ordinary but important things in my life. I usually plan out my projects in excessive detail before I start, so the fact that I was kind of like winging it for this project, it was also a really good challenge for me. But yeah, if you have ideas for what my next mundane muse could be, let me know in the comment section. In the meantime, take care of your body, your mind, and I'll see you in my next one.